great to be back at NATO Ministerial, as always, to highlight the excellent EU-NATO cooperation in all different fields. So it will be again today an occasion to continue our common work on the many different challenges we have, but also some opportunities to strengthen the security of our citizens. The EU and NATO have established now in the last year a very solid partnership and cooperation. We have 42 single projects we are implementing on a daily basis. So as also my friend Jens Stoltenberg always says, the partnership between NATO and the European Union has never been as effective and practical and good as it is today. So we will continue our work in this direction today. We are working daily on maritime security, both in the Mediterranean and the Aegean. We're working on cyber threats, we're working on hybrid threats, and exchanging more and more practices, cooperation obviously with two different organizations, with two different natures, I would say. NATO is a military alliance, the European Union is a regional organization. But we share the same security area and we have different instruments that can complement each other very well. I would maybe just take the opportunity also to say that even in these days, after the notification we have received from London, the European Union is continuing to strengthen its defence and security profile, as we have started to do last year, in the course of last year. I've seen that there have been considerations about being the UK leaving the European Union. This might affect the European Union capacity to be a defence and security provider. I was just looking at the numbers also today with Michel Barnier. We exchange very often views and considerations on the sense of direction. Looking at the numbers, the UK contributes today only for 3% of our civilian capabilities in our EU operations and missions, and 5% to the military ones. So for sure it's a valued contribution, but for sure a contribution without which the European Union defence and security work can continue perfectly well.
The UK suggested to do an exchange of trade against security in the Brexit negotiations. What's your...
As I said, the contribution that the UK is giving to the European Union security and defence work is important, but is limited. 5% in the military operations, 3% in the civilian operations. It's not a percentage that the other member states cannot fill in once they will be done. So I wish we could, and we will, establish a good and solid security and defence cooperation also after Brexit. For sure, the European Union and the UK will continue to cooperate in this field also through our cooperation with NATO. I have no news of the UK leaving NATO, so this will continue to be a common forum. But for sure, the numbers with which the UK is currently contributing to the European Union defence and security operations and missions is not that big to create a challenge for the European Union in the future. So the leverage in that respect would be really minimal on their side.
Will the cooperation be enhanced with the NATO?
Sorry?
European Union cooperation with the NATO, will it be enhanced?
It is already. It is already. Since last July, when we signed a common understanding, a common partnership between the European Union and NATO at the margins of the Warsaw Summit, we have advanced enormously in this cooperation. We're continuing, both at my level, but also at ministerial level. The fact that I'm always attending the ministerial meetings in NATO, and Stoltenberg constantly attends our ministerial meetings in the European Union defence formation, shows an excellent cooperation. And, as I said, not only at political level, but also at practical level, staff level, we are turning the purposes into something very concrete and very real, because our citizens need cooperation in the field of security and defence, and this is exactly what we are already doing. We will continue to do. Thank you very much.
Questions about, from Mr. Tillerson? Questions or a message to deliver to him?
I met him last week for the third or fourth time, I think, in the last month, so we continue to work together, but contacts and work with the US administration on the European Union side are good, frequent. There are things on which we have different positions, on trade, on climate, on other things. But there are other issues on which we work well together, and we will continue to work well together. And again, contacts are basically daily contacts. I will have a telephone conversation later today with Vice President Pence. We continue to work well together. Again, this doesn't mean we agree on everything. We have different policies on some issues, but many converging interests, and security is definitely one of those.
Permetto una domanda in italiano. Il ministro degli esteri inglese Boris Johnson ha detto che la cooperazione del Regno Unito con l'Unione Europea senza condizione continuerà anche dopo la Brexit. Le sembra un buon segnale dopo le parole del May nella lettera oppure?
Inizieremo il negoziato, ne ho parlato oggi anche con Michel Barnier, inizieremo il negoziato e vedremo dove ci condurrà. Da parte dell'Unione Europea certamente c'è tutto l'interesse ad avere la più stretta e la migliore cooperazione una volta che la Gran Bretagna sarà uscita dall'Unione Europea in tutti i campi, in tutti i settori, ma questo lo lasciamo ai negoziati che appunto iniziano ora. Non possiamo predeterminarne l'esito. Quello che ho ricordato è che nel campo della sicurezza e della difesa la Gran Bretagna contribuisce in modo utile e importante alle missioni e alle operazioni militari e civili dell'Unione Europea, 16 missioni abbiamo, ma nella misura del 3% per il personale civile e del 5% per il personale militare, quindi certamente non è una cifra tale di uomini e di mezzi che possa creare un problema alla dimensione dell'Unione Europea nella difesa e nella sicurezza in un futuro. Grazie.